So now we are prepared and know exactly what we want in our job search. What about closing the gap between companies' requirement and our own skills? Let's talk about it. It's important to look not only on requirements in the position. You need to dig deeper. Some people are applying for the job with 99% of skills, some with 20% of skills. The right answer is in the middle. What do I want to see as a recruiter? As a recruitment specialist, I'm looking for the signs of excellence, at least 2-3. It can be a great education, dean list, teaching assistant, graduated with honors, great company, or your growth inside of this company, becoming tech lead, team lead, mentoring. It can be also participation in the community, recording podcasts, writing blogs, sharing your knowledge with the public, giving back. If we are speaking about tech specialist, good GitHub or Stack Overflow can be very valuable, as well as a great portfolio when you are a designer. Speaking about personal qualities, it's important for me to understand that you can work in dynamic environment, adjust to the change, move fast, and work in the team. I'm not looking for it to be written in the CV in phrases. I am looking for real examples. General requirements usually divided to critical and not critical. Let's focus on critical requirements. They can be around years of experience. If 4 years of experience required, but you have 3, it can work. But if, let's say, 3 years of managerial experience is required and you only have 6 months, it will most probably not work. Everyone needs time to polish and exercise specific skills, so staying at one position at least for 1-2 years can be critical. But I'm not talking about entry-level jobs or your first job. Language can be critical, local or additional, English as example. But remember, companies can make an exception if other requirements met or exceeded. Important note: top companies are not focusing on specific technologies or knowledge because they're open for people to learn. I'm never looking for C++ or Java engineer at Facebook. I am looking for a great engineer. I was accepted to Facebook Tel Aviv as a first non-Hebrew speaking recruiter. I know that company took some risks. Actually, my first interview with Facebook lasted for only 3 to 5 minutes. One of the first questions was, "How is your Hebrew?" And I answered, "So-so." This is how conversation ended. After 6 months, I applied again, and to the same question, I just answered, "It's good." And the interviewing process just continued. I was really afraid at the moment when I came to the on-site interview, but I think that company was already excited about me, and they actually asked if I prefer English or Hebrew for the interview. This is just a live example of how company can compromise if you exceeded in the beginning and middle of your interview. I had many candidates who didn't succeed from the first attempt, and in cases of not critical gaps and near misses, you can always try again in a year using all the feedbacks and information you got from the first attempt. Another example, I had many front-end candidates that never worked with React, JavaScript library, and this is what we're using in all our products. Many of them succeeded because they had strong JavaScript knowledge. Any additional new library or technology can be mastered with time. But how to compensate for the missing skills? It's about self-confidence, good real examples of quick learning, and good preparation for the interview. It's so important to remember that unsuccessful interviews are actually key to success, as any failure bringing you to winning in the long term. Most of the companies have a cool down period. It's usually 1 year or maybe less, as I mentioned, and you can always try again if nothing crazy happened during the interviewing process and you grew during the last year. The best way to learn from failures is to request as much feedback as possible, observe, and to compare both in the end. Use the yes man approach to the interviews. I know you're waiting for it. Here is another question. What are typical signs of excellence for a recruiter? A. Education, companies you worked for. B. Growth, activity in the community, entrepreneurship. C. Years of experience, recommendations. D. Impressive summary in the CV, detailed description of everything you've done. Now take your time and think about it. So first two are correct, A and B. Education, companies you worked for, growth, activity in the community, entrepreneurship. Anything that makes you stand out can be a sign of excellence and your passion and love to what you're doing.